This has been all over, and we're going to get to it. We want your opinion. We've been talking about this new book from the president's niece, Mary Trump. Well, the book's out now after the president's brother failed to stop its publication. Mary Trump gave a television interview, her very first, and here's some of what she had to say to ABC's George Stephanopoulos.
There are so many parallels between the circumstances in which my family operated and in which this country is now operating. I saw firsthand what focusing on the wrong things, elevating the wrong people can do, the collateral damage that can be created by allowing somebody to live their lives without accountability. If I can do anything to change the narrative and to tell the truth, I need to do that.
The White House has said that Mary Trump is clearly acting in her own financial self-interest. So we need to know what y'all think, okay? Because we've been talking a lot about it here. Is she shedding light on the truth, or is she just throwing shade? And I like that shade light thing. Real quick, I think we need to mention she's also in a PhD in advanced clinical psychology. So she's not just speaking out of turn when she discusses what she thinks Trump has. She's also the niece and has seen what I think is some pretty horrible manipulative abuse from her grandfather. I mean, take Trump out of this, Jeff, and you've got a pretty sick, sad, power-obsessed family here. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I guess it kind of makes sense, right? I don't know. I'm not there. I'm not a PhD. But here's the thing I don't like, Tori. I don't like people capitalizing, and I'm not siding with the White House here. This is just my opinion. I don't like people capitalizing on other people's successes, okay? She's writing a book here, and now she's getting marched around to ABC, to CBS, to all the big networks, and she's kind of making a little name for herself. It smells a lot like, who is that alleged prostitute and her, Michael Avenatti. I got a Michael Avenatti smell from her, you know, that I just don't like. It comes off not good. And there's a person who wrote a book about Trump now there's a person who wrote a book about Melania. And listen, I hate throwing this example out there, but if we put the shoe on the other foot and said, this person is writing a book about Barack Obama or Michelle Obama, I have a feeling our show would be saying a lot, take a different angle on this. That's all I'm saying.
And I appreciate you bringing that up. That's super honest. I do want to say legally she has every right to publish it because you're a public figure. You put yourself out there. You're allowed to have people write about you. Seriously. She's also a niece and she has some firsthand accounts. Brandon, do you think that what Jeff said is true? If this was written about the Obamas, we'd all be jumping on it?
Well, yes, absolutely yes, because, I mean, it's the president, you know, like we talk about celebrities, we talk about sports figures and people that we admire and look up to, but it's the president of the United States. Anytime anyone writes some sort of book about the president, especially so close to home, being a family member, then whether it was Barack, whether it was Jimmy Carter, whomever it is, I think that we'd be all over this. But I do agree with you, Jeff, for sure, about, and like you say, I don't have a PhD either, but I think there's some sort of capital gain here, because where were you in 2016? You know, and all she's doing, when I watched the Good Morning America interview this morning, all she's doing is pretty much saying what other people, other biographers had said about Donald Trump. There's already a Netflix special on the father in that Trump family. So unless she's giving us some new information or she's had some behind the scenes stuff that's talking about policy or where this country is going, then I just see someone trying to capitalize.
Well,
I'm sorry.
I strongly disagree with you guys. If you read more about what she's saying, and we'll move on to the next topic, but please write in. She does have a back. Her father died, Fred Trump. No one went to see him in the hospital. No one was allowed to. She said her grandfather pitted the children against each other, dropped people, very verbally abusive, and you don't get that perspective from someone, let's say, on Trump's staff. So I appreciate that perspective.
Why do we need to know all that right now? Our country's divisive enough, and I'm not taking sides here. I'm just saying we don't need a book putting more gasoline onto the fire in this sense. And it's just her opinion. Listen, I think the dynamic between the father and Trump, his father,
Fred,
is very interesting. Listen, I think that would be cool, a documentary after this fire has went down a little bit. But for the book to come out right now, I can't help but think she's capitalizing in some sense.
And for me, the book to come out right now is I'm educating people before the election.